Hello, fellow Scratchers! We did it! We made it to 300,000 subscribers, and to celebrate this epic milestone, I'm finally going to unbox this! My YouTube Play Button Award, and as promised, I'll be answering your top questions in this special celebratory Q&A video. And man, did you guys have a lot of questions, such as, what was the first game I ever made, even before Scratch existed? And, does pineapple belong on pizza? Now that is a good one. But before I unravel those tantalizing mysteries, I recently posed you guys a question. Why do you think I left it so long to open this exciting black box? Well, with a strong majority, 59% of you thought it was due to my fear of sticky tape. Seriously, you think I have a fear of... Well, yes, I do. Who told you? I really do hate sticky things in name labels sticking to my clothes. Get them away from me. But as weird as that may be, there isn't actually much tape on this packaging, so that was a red herring. Surprisingly, it was option 2. Yes, all along I had been planning to attempt to unbox this using nothing more than a spatula. Or spatulas? Spatulae? Why? Hey, too many questions. What do you think this is, a Q&A? Talking of which, at the top of the list with a stonking 77 likes is this three-parter by CLD21 Studios, asking, will you ever make tutorials for other engines or just Scratch? You know, I am quite sure that I will. Yes, having taught Scratch for a number of years on YouTube, I'm very aware that the majority of my subscribers will naturally move on from Scratch, seeking out more advanced platforms. And yes, I would love to continue the journey with you, so let me reflect this back to you. Outside of Scratch, what would you be most excited to see me create tutorials for? Python, Godot, Unity? Drop me a comment under the video and let me know. But gosh, these spatulas! Hey, did I mention I play the drums? Do you have any older games pre-Scratch that you haven't revealed to your channel? Oh man, as I grew up, I created a whole bunch of cool games that I'd love to have shared with you guys, but sadly, they are all lost to time, not making the transition from game console to PC, floppy disks to CD to DVDs to hard drives. So sad. But on a happier note, many of my old games have directly inspired my Scratch games. Scratch Snapped, Tanks, Snail, MMO Platformer, and even Orbital Velocity, to name just a few. Even then, there are still a few games from old that I have yet to remake in Scratch. So maybe one of these days, and perhaps by then, I'll have finally opened this silly box. Spatulas? Whose crazy idea was that? Which Scratch project of yours is your most favourite? To play, Slither.io, hands down. If I had to limit myself to only playing one of my games, this would be it, because somehow it just never gets old. I just love it. Playing online with other fellow Scratchers is like amazing fun, and it has this special gameplay balance where new players are not left overpowered by the larger snakes, and you can choose to play it safe or head directly into the action and risk it all, and man, those frequent feeding frenzies are a real blast. However, technically my favourite project that I am most proud of would be Apple, one of my most polished games. And yeah, getting over it, technically very hard to recreate in Scratch. And I put it aside a number of times after each failed attempt, but persistence paid off, and I'm dead proud of the final result. Gosh, I even got a retweet of my post by the original author, Bennett himself. How cool is that? Right, stuff that. A close relative of the common spatula, scissors. Now we are in business. So with 63 likes, here's a question from Podcasts379. Why did you decide to start making Scratch tutorials, and what keeps you motivated? Well, I began helping out Scratchers on my profile very soon after joining Scratch. I got a lot of satisfaction from that, but my follower count just kept growing and it became hard to keep up with the requests. So instead of focusing on one-to-one help, I decided to put my efforts into making tutorials that I could then share with everyone. Firstly, through my Griffpatch tutor account on Scratch, and then after I got up enough courage, I moved over to YouTube. And that was a huge move for me because I'm actually a huge introvert and have real trouble ad-libbing, as is very obvious if you listen to my first video. So let's just get Scratchy to do something interesting. I'm just going to set him up to point to the right like he currently is. Ha! Well, we all have to start somewhere, right? Happily, I worked on things and I pressed into my strengths, and although it takes me a considerable amount of time to make a video, I think they come over pretty well. As for what keeps me motivated, well, this is just what I love to do. And as long as you guys keep participating, leaving me likes, comments and subs, then that will keep this channel alive. So I really have all of you to thank for that. Even the scissors are struggling with this bit of tape. Hold on. There we go. That's got it. Now this is exciting. Let's see what I've got inside. Another question. With 59 likes, Art the Gamer asks, will you ever make a full 3D engine, including a Y level so we can jump and climb objects? Now, you have seen my 3D laser tag game, I'm sure. I shared it back in 2014 in the early days of Scratch 2, and although it's not texture mapped, it does support height. We have stairs, platforms and doorways, but to achieve this level of performance, I had to store the level data in grid lists. We can see this layout by opening the built-in level editor. The design takes cues from Doom, with each grid square being assigned a different floor and ceiling height. So yes, I would love to continue to teach this in a more advanced raycasting tutorial, and I just need to find the right time to do it. Now this is looking promising. Under the foam is an official letter, and wow, it's so thick, like card. That's so cool. Yay! Thank you, YouTube! Ooh, what's this? It looks like another question, this time from Watermelon Dev YB7YB. What tutorial series do you have planned next? Are there any old ones you would like to continue? Oh, I have so many planned. Off the top of my head, a cookie clicker style tutorial, a Flappy Bird, that would be excellent for beginners. And I really would love to reboot my scrolling platformer series. That was my first series I ever made, and it's showing its age. Good old Scratch 2, right? Oh, and I should also mention, I want to make some kind of cloud shooter game too. As for continuing old series, there aren't any I wouldn't consider revisiting. The only reason they peter out is that I have yet to find a way to keep enough people engaged with the later episodes of those long-running series. That's a problem because this channel is funded by ads on videos, and that is driven by the number of views. Therefore, I have to make the videos that bring in the views. It's a conundrum. Let me lift this out. Oh wait, how do I even... got it. Ooh, now this looks so cool. So a fun question from Freshkies. How did you find Scratch? And how long did it take to master it? So I first encountered Scratch 11 years ago when my kids joined a school Scratch club. Being the curious sort, I installed Scratch on my PC. Yep, it wasn't web-based back then. And I registered a new account for me and the family to use under the name Griffpatch, a patch for us to code in. Only instead, I got hooked and the name stuck. As for how long it took me to master it, well, anybody who's coded before will get off to a very fast start with Scratch. But Scratch does have a few quirks that can throw even a seasoned programmer. It wasn't until I got to look at the Scratch source code that things finally clicked. And yeah, I learnt a few things then that changed forever how I went about coding my Scratch games. Which feeds perfectly into our next question by GasDude589 asking, would you be able to do some sort of video that handles general case use of scripts, showing how to minimize lag? Yes, absolutely I will, and it's been on my mind for quite some time. In some ways it's not that complicated, but it does need to be set out just right to explain it well. You know, in the best Griffpatch way, but I know it's going to be a really cool video, so make sure you have subscribed to this channel, check the bell icon, and keep an eye out for that. And here it comes, the last layer, and doesn't this look splendid? presented to Griffpatch for passing 100,000 subscribers. Wow, so shiny. I'm just so honoured by you guys. Thank you to every one of my, 300,000 fellow Scratchers that supported me thus far. I wonder, do you think we'll make it to 1 million? And if so, how long do you think it might take us? Antnos asks, just curious, have you ever discovered a random Scratch project that looked better than yours? Man, are you kidding? All the time. Sure, I've got some great projects, but I get my enjoyment from making really fun projects in a cunning, clever way, and I'll often share them way before they are finished. I just love the journey, you see, so my projects are hardly ever polished or the best they could be. No, it takes a lot of dedication and time to finish and polish a full game, and there are bucket loads of Scratchers better at that than me. By then, I've often moved on to something new. Venomous Snack asks, are you going to continue the RPG series? And if so, will you add features such as shops, NPCs, mobs, combat, and even an optional hunger system? I really love that RPG series too, and I've got oodles left to share. Yes, all those things you mentioned and more. However, whether I can do them all in the current YouTube format remains to be seen. Just because later episodes don't attract new views. An alternative might be to try crowdfunding the series, or perhaps release them through a dedicated membership site? Just floating ideas. That could be awesome. Otherwise, you'll just have to be patient, and I'll work on it in between other things. Next up, Kanowini asks, what got you into coding? And what was your first game like? If you want to know more about that, then you should check out my Scratch Story remix, linked under this video. I lay it all out there from my beginnings in coding at the age of 8 on an Acorn Electron. Check it out. And then, why not tell me your Scratch story? Just Moses 12 asks, how long does it usually take you to make a Scratch project? Gosh, well, it can be anything from a day to a few weeks, but I always get too excited and generally release a first draft after a couple of days, no matter what. Paper Minecraft was shared and then kept getting updates for a whole year. Tyronix has 2 questions. What keeps you motivated into not leaving coding and to keep teaching? And what other things do you do in your free time other than Scratch? Stop coding? I can't even imagine that day. Coding is just such a joy for me. As for teaching, I almost love that as much. I'll keep on doing that as long as there's fun topics to be covered. Outside of Scratch, I enjoy playing the guitar and piano, not at the same time, but I do love to sing along. And then movies. We love watching movies in our home. All sorts too, from old classics to action adventures, rom-coms, sci-fis, dramas, comedies, animations, manga, and various series. There's not much we don't enjoy. It's super fun. Snail Team Studios asks, what is your favourite coding block/feature in Scratch? It has to be the custom block with its run without screen refresh feature. That was introduced in Scratch 2, and that opened the doors to making some seriously good games. And I'll give a special mention to the mod and abs blocks. Where would I be without them? Oh gosh, I didn't think of cloud variables. Now that was a fantastic addition when it came in too. On the flip side, Alexander Therian1234 asked, if there was one block you wanted to be added in Scratch, what would it be? Actually, there's quite a few, but perhaps a substring block? Having a really fast way of splitting up strings would be so useful. But also, have you seen the experimental text extension? It's something I championed many years back and I think it would be a game changer. Scratch team, when do we get that? I'm ready when you are. Commander Akka asked, what was your first project on Scratch? Pac-Man. Fimochi wondered whether pineapple belongs on pizza? Yes, absolutely it does. TFAM Gaming asked, will you ever continue the IK Spider Legs Devlog? I really liked it. I really hope so. I love that one too. Only it turns out devlogs actually take more time than tutorials because they require such a lot of creative coding. Plus you need to make a video on top of that. So yes, it will return, I'm sure, but I just need to find inner peace first. BlobDude19 asks, have you released any games apart from Scratch, like on Steam maybe? Now I have released a private beta on a Google App Store. It was a work-in-progress Unity game and happens to be one of those games I may one day bring to Scratch. If you like puzzle games, then you will love it. Penite FR asked a great question: how did you overcome disappointments? The truth is, we all have ups and we all have downs. Life is like that. Some tasks just require perseverance, so focus on what you're going to do next and keep at it. Also, always try and enjoy the journey. That way, should things not turn out in the end, you can still benefit from the experience you gained, or even help out someone else who is going through the same problems. You learn a serious lot from your mistakes, I can tell you, so don't get disheartened. I am Sparta7436 says, have you ever been recognised in public? Funnily enough, no, I have not. But then I guess that's to be expected running a mostly faceless YouTube channel. The closest I tend to get is when friends and acquaintances approach me saying, "You're famous?" After they got into conversations with their kids or their students, somehow the connection to Griffpatch is made. And that's always a laugh, but no, never face to face. Not yet, anyhow. And finally, Jamie Burkrew asks, are you going to do a video where you play R-Scratch games? Now that is an interesting one, because I would love to do that, only if you've seen me try to talk while playing a game, it's bad. I don't have the gift. However, that's not to say I won't give it a go. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you everyone who submitted a question. I hope you learnt something new. Perhaps you'll consider having pineapple on your next pizza? Either way, if you enjoyed this episode, please show your appreciation by clicking that like button and subscribing to the channel so you do not miss the next exciting tutorial. Until then though, have a fantastic week ahead. Work hard, watch some great movies, and scratch on, guys.